Today I'm speedrunning Super Mario Odyssey, but not in the way you may think. I have a mod that lets Mario bounce off of Cappy an unlimited number of times, and we're gonna see today if I can get a world record. The game begins like every other speedrun you've ever seen of this game ever. Wake up from your nap, chase around the cap, and proceed to bounce all the way up to the top of the tower and skip all of that Frogger nonsense. Meet up with Topper, throw Topper in the trash, and that's Cat Kingdom down. Man, wasn't that easy? Cascade Kingdom is where things start heating up. Now what you're supposed to do is use this T-Rex to trampoline up to the boss, but I'm a little bit too much of a gamer for that. Madam Brutal's not too hard, just use your hopscotch abilities to avoid her attacks and then you're off to the races. It was when I got to Sand Kingdom when I made the unfortunate discovery I don't remember the speedrunning route. I spent most of my time in this kingdom just Cappy bouncing around looking for other moons to find, and while that did me some good for a little while, I did have to get a little bit creative and come up with new moves like brand new Dram Strat to get this moon here. I pushed forward trying to follow the speedrun route as best as I could remember, even going as far as to do this bullet bill section, but without the bullet bills. No! Don't worry though, second time's the charm. So I dash over here, I get the cactus, ground pound, and then I get the music notes. As I make my way back to the Odyssey, I quickly realize I'm still missing 3 whole moons. In my infinite wisdom, I see the floating island in the sky and think, yeah, getting that move's gonna save me some time. I spent a little bit more time looking around. I didn't find many fast moons that I could do, but eventually I managed to get the 3 moons we were missing and we made our way over to Wooded Kingdom. Now, if I had any dreams of actually getting a world record, Wooded Kingdom is where that dream went to die. I picked up the first couple of moons no problem, but when I went to the shop to go try to buy a moon, they just told me I was a broke bitch. So I had to take a slight little detour and ignore my onion friend to get this moon up in the chestnut. The next few moons are about what you'd expect. I thought that being able to Cappy bounce would give me a little bit of an advantage in that little sub area, but it turns out it didn't help as much as I expected. I tried to be a little clever with it and skip my way over to the boss fight for this kingdom, but it turns out that the game won't let me, so I ended up taking my anger out on this little plant. I run around the corner to get this chestnut moon, and then I decide to explore around a little bit and see how many other moons I can find. I only found 1. Oh wait, and then I found another. I took a walk of shame back to the arena, but not before going into this entrance and actually completing this room from the top down. Though it was when I tried to exit this room that trouble began to arise. Falling down in the deep woods is the #1 way to kill a run in this game, but lucky for us, we have the ability to just jump our way back into the loading zone and make our way out of the deep woods. Even though I've lost a lot of time, I'm conscientious enough to teleport back over to the arena so that I can take on Spewart. These powers do not help in the Spewart fight. All you really have to do with this guy is avoid his spit and then jump on his head. That's all it takes. We don't have much help here. I guess it's time for us to go to Lake Kingdom now. I'm already not a huge fan of Lake Kingdom, but doing this challenge makes me realize just how much I really dislike it. There's not a ton of options for moons that I can go for here, and the one variation that I tried to do, I unfortunately failed horribly at it. I got this moon underwater to try to make up for that loss, hit this box, and then I went into a sub area to try to get an extra moon or 2. Now see, this is what I've been waiting for, baby. After finishing up that area, I bounce over to go fight Topper and got my ass beat. It only took me the second try, okay? Let's get out of this kingdom. I don't even want to talk about Cloud Kingdom, so we're just gonna skip past it. By the time I got to Lost Kingdom, I quickly noticed that something wasn't quite right. The game was lagging, and it was lagging bad. So what's one to do when their precious video game begins lagging? You spend a few hours and you try to fix it. New Donk City is now the poster child for lag in a Mario game. We start by Cappy jumping over to these big buildings, but the more that I watch, the more that I realize that this is probably slower than just walking. I had the bright idea to go to the top of this building and try to do the rune from the top down, but it just didn't go the way I planned for it to. I don't care what anyone says, this is the worst boss fight in the entire game. Every time that I face this guy, I just scream out of anger. Shoot, dude, shoot! What the fuck? After a little bit more screaming, I finally took him down and managed to get that multi-moon. Wow, we're making really good time, by the way. After throwing away my hard drive and promptly losing all my footage, I very quickly made my way over to Snow Kingdom. I set off to do my morning parkour, have a chat with Captain Toad, and then just ground pound into random holes I found in the backyard. As I went through Snow Kingdom, everything seemed pretty normal. I was just starting to get over my tragic loss in Lake Kingdom when all of a sudden, I was right back in the action. Luckily this time, I'd learned from my mistakes and threw Topper directly in the trash. Now, I don't know if y'all knew this about me, but this is my favorite kingdom, and it's not because of the food. That doesn't change the fact that the easiest moons are impossible for me to get, and I get shot right back into an another speeder fight. I don't need to repeat this part. But once that's done, I head downstairs to find more easy moons to struggle with. I help these guys pull some turnips for their stew, even though they really should be washing them before they put it in the food. They got really upset, kicked me out at dinner, and told me I had to escape this trap room. Now, before you write in the comments about how trash tier my gameplay is, I didn't have motion controls during this run, so I don't want to hear shit out of you, Jack. After a couple of really well-timed detours, I finally made my way up the mountain, got my multi-moon, and made my way on to the Ruin Kingdom. Now, my favorite part about this one is that you can skip every single phase of this boss fight. If you do this Cappy bounce, it's impossible for you to take any damage, making the Ruin Kingdom the easiest boss fight in this entire game. Good news about Bowser's Kingdom, there's a lot of opportunities for you to just Cappy jump through the thing. The bad news, it's really slow to do it that way. So this level doesn't look super impressive at all. So I shoot up this pylon and have to prepare myself for the biggest ego check I've ever experienced. I had no idea how to fight this boss. I decided to try and just do the normal speedrun strats here because I thought that if I tried to jump up there, he would just knock me down just like my elementary school spelling bee. After dusting myself off and managing to stop crying, I threw all 6 Brutals in the trash and we make our way to the final kingdom. Oh, here we are. The last one. By the time I got to this kingdom, I just couldn't believe that this was almost over. I was struggling with frame rate, I lost so much time that my speedrun timer walked out on the job, and to see that castle in the distance as I knew I didn't have to do that bullshit moon jump skip, there was a sense of peace that washed over me. But there's no time for peace right now. I came here to beat this game, and by golly, that's what I'm gonna do. I face off against Bowser, effortlessly dodging every single move he had to throw at me. I was untouchable, a red blur in the wind. After I've hijacked his body, we proceed to make our exit out of the facility. I have no idea how much time I've lost at this point, but I only have one goal in sight. And with a few spams of the A button, I've completed Mario Odyssey with an unlimited number of Cappy Jumps. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, consider checking out some of my other Odyssey videos. And if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsub later.